Welcome, I am Dr. Bree, and today I'm going to share with you 5 simple at-home exercises for immediate pelvic support. These offer strength and stability for your pelvic area. They're great for women with prolapse, pelvic organ prolapse, and they offer solutions for your whole body from head to foot, because we know that when we have prolapse, it's a whole body issue. We need to look above and below the pelvic floor. These moves are going to do just that for you. So let's begin with our first exercise, which is standing up. They're actually all done standing up. And what I want you to do is really ground your feet solidly on the ground. So lift up your toes and feel how that activates the arch of your foot. You should feel nice and like, ooh, I feel some activity in my feet. Lift up your toes, activate the arch, and then set your toes down. Feel grounded through the floor and then lifted through the crown of your head. Bring your arms out to the side and rotate your thumbs so your thumbs are pointing back. So thumbs are pointing back, and activate your core so that you feel engaged from the pelvic floor on up through the ribs. Make sure as you do this move, which I call posture pulses, as you do the posture pulses, make sure that this isn't happening. Notice how I'm like thrusting and flaring my ribs forward every time I pulse my arms back. Don't do that. I want you to really focus on the postural aspect of this exercise, which is opening the chest and shoulders and strengthening the mid-back. That's helping your posture, but you're also strengthening your core by keeping the ribs drawn in, not letting them thrust open like this. So your core is active and engaged. This is great for your pelvic health because, first of all, you're working your core, but also because you're helping with your posture. When you have prolapse, one thing that can worsen prolapse is if you stand with a poor posture. Keep going with this posture pulse exercise, and I'm going to show you what you don't want to be doing. You don't want to be standing with a posture with forward head, rounded shoulders, and a flat back and tucked under bum. If you have prolapse, these are things that are very, very problematic. They cause downward pressure on your pelvic organs. So we want to be lifted and tall. We want to strengthen the muscles of the mid-back. We want to open the chest and heart. So these posture pulses help so much. Let's do 3, 2, 1, and come on down. Plus, it's great for your shoulders. So roll out your shoulders and move into our second exercise, which is also for posture. So inhale nice and tall, exhale all your air out, and hinge at your hips. So again, talking about posture, I don't want you to round your back as you come forward. Stand up nice and tall, exhale, and hinge at your hips. Back is flat. Bend one knee and straighten the other, and we're gonna move into elephant walks. So keep your head forward. You don't wanna be cranked up like this or hunched down like this. Neutral gaze, and just bend and straighten one knee at a time, slowly, as if you were an elephant walking through the plains. So channel your inner elephant and feel yourself pressing through one hip and then pressing back through the other hip. Really press back through your hips and feel that stretch through the entire back of the leg. Keep going with this and know that you can hold on to a chair or a countertop for support or the wall, or you can just gently touch your thighs. Keep going with your elephant walk, and I just want to quickly show you why this is helpful for prolapse and for pelvic support. The reason why is that this stretches the back of the legs, which can become short and tight. The hamstrings can become short and tight if you have posture that, we don't want to have, where your bum is tucked under and your hips are forward. That shortens the hamstrings. The other thing is sitting for a lot of the day. If you happen to sit quite a bit, maybe at your job or at home, then that can shorten the hamstrings too. So this lengthens the hamstrings and really allows you to stand and sit and live in a position where your bum is untucked. This helps with great posture, which is important for your pelvic health. It also helps put your pelvis in a good alignment, not tucked under, but in a good alignment for natural support of your pelvic organs. Okay, so finish up your elephant walk. And now I'm going to share with you our next exercise, which is core breathing. Now, this is healthy, natural breathing, but we're going to intentionally add some extra pelvic floor activation. So let's begin just worrying and thinking about the breath. Bring your hands to your ribs and feel that as you breathe in, you feel a slight expansion of the ribs and the belly and even into the back as you inhale. So inhale to expand. And then exhale, feel your ribs glide in. So as you inhale, there's some expansion. And as you exhale, you feel your ribs glide in. Keep practicing that. And notice that as you inhale and expand, you feel that expansion all around. It's not just your belly going forward and back. It's out to the sides, it's out to the back, and it's gentle. It doesn't have to be a huge amount of expansion, but there's a little expansion as you inhale. And then as you exhale, you feel everything coming in, okay? Now, your pelvic floor is a part of this too, because your pelvic floor is the base of your core. Pelvic floor, abs, back, breathing diaphragm. So let's intentionally feel our pelvic floor now. Let's intentionally bring it in. So as you inhale and expand, your pelvic floor is releasing and relaxing. As you exhale, feel an intentional activation of your pelvic floor, like you're squeezing and lifting the pelvic floor muscles. These are your muscles that stop the flow of urine. They're your pee stopping muscles. You can also imagine the sensation as if you were picking up a blueberry with your vagina. So those are all just ideas for helping you feel that squeeze and lift of those deep pelvic floor muscles. It's not a butt squeeze, it's not a belly squeeze, it's a pelvic floor squeeze, the inner pelvic muscles, squeezing and lifting. So again, as you inhale and expand, you can feel those pelvic floor muscles actually softening. As you exhale, and your ribs draw in, your belly comes in, lift intentionally your pelvic floor. So it's like you're adding a little bit of a Kegel contraction as you exhale. Let's do 2 or 3 more reps. So inhale to expand all around. Exhale, engage, lift that pelvic floor, belly's drawing in, ribs are gliding in. One more time, inhale to expand all around. And exhale to engage, lift that pelvic floor, pick up a blueberry with your vagina. Nice job. If that felt hard for you, keep practicing. You can also do it lying down on the ground, which can make it easier. All right, our next exercise is what I call better than Kegel, mini squats. So you are going to sit back with your butt, and the key here is not to tuck your butt under. We've been talking a lot about posture and how important it is for pelvic health and support for your pelvic organs to stand and live and move with good posture. We don't want this tucking under situation. And a lot of us tuck our butts under. So release the butt cheeks back, release the tailbone back, release the sitting bones back as we squat. This also releases the pelvic floor, which is often too tight in people with prolapse or bladder issues. So releasing back, and then exhale, squeeze your glutes, so you're getting a butt workout, but you're also feeling your sitting bones draw together and your pelvic floor lift as well. So inhale, release back. You're releasing your butt apart, your butt cheeks apart. You're releasing your sitting bones apart, releasing the pelvic floor. And then exhale, squeeze, feel the butt muscles activate and the pelvic floor muscles squeeze and lift. Let's keep going. So back and exhale up. Make sure that your toes can stay lifted off the ground. If your toes can't lift off the ground, it probably means your knees are too far forward and your butt is tucked under. So you want to sit back, like you're sitting back into a chair behind you, so that your toes could lift off the ground. That's the toe test. If your toes can't lift off the ground, then you're too far forward and your butt's tucked under you. So keep going. And remember, these are such a great substitute for the classic Kegel exercise. And you're working so much more than just your pelvic floor when you do these little mini air squats. And you could add a knee lift to challenge your balance. You could add a leg lift to challenge your balance and strengthen your side hips. Let's just do one more. But the key is to do it slow and intentional and in a way where you feel the release of your pelvic floor and sitting bones moving apart, and then the activation, the lift of your pelvic floor and your sitting bones draw together. Our next move and final move is slow hip circles. So bend the knees, hands on your hips, and you're simply going to draw a circle on the ground beneath you with your pelvis. Now, I'm going to show you from the side. Knees are softly bent. Your pubic bone is going to go forward. Then your hips are going to go to the side. Then back with your tailbone. And then to the other side with your hip. So forward, side, back, side. And slow and smooth, we circle it out. Now, keep going with your circles. And what I want you to notice is that the slower you go, the more you can feel. So if you're just speeding through this motion, first of all, it might feel frustrating and like you feel stiff and awkward and you just can't do it. So slow it down. And also, the more you can notice what's going on in your body, so you will notice, ooh, when I circle around forward, I can feel the activation of my pelvic floor, my abs. When I circle around back, I can feel my back muscles turn on, my pelvic muscles kind of release, my butt release. So you can notice what's going on in your body, which is really cool to start to become aware and connected to your muscles. The other thing you can notice is, ooh, this hurts my back. Let's just pretend that this hurts my back. Well, then I would say hip circles may not be bad for you, but maybe you need to make the circles a little bit smaller or do them a little bit slower. You don't have to make them huge circles. You can make them very tiny. So notice your muscles. Notice what feels good in your body and notice what doesn't feel good in your body. Now go the other way, reverse direction. Remember, knees are bent and you're breathing. I like to exhale as I circle around forward and feel my belly draw in. And I like to inhale as I circle around back. That's just what works for me. But I do find that it helps to manage pressure, which is a huge piece of the prolapse puzzle. So keep going. And one more thing to add about hip circles, especially when you do them slow, is they can bring up emotions. It might surprise you. All of a sudden, you might start feeling irritated or you might start feeling sad. And you might not even know where that feeling came from. But our hips and our pelvic area stores a lot of emotion. And so if you feel something emotionally doing a slow hip circle like this, you're not alone and it's okay. It's better out than in. So let it go. Maybe sigh, maybe cry. It's all good. Let it out. So let's finish up these hip circles. And just know that if these moves provided immediate relief for you, then there's so much more in my Lift program. And I'm gonna give you a link to sign up for a free trial in the video description and in the pinned comment. But before you go, I want to show you a bonus move. This is called Hips Up Time. I talk about Hips Up Time in my Lift program and I talk about it all the time. It's one of my favorite moves. I'm gonna show you in the inset picture. You are simply going to lay down with a yoga block or a firm pillow under the back of your pelvis, under your sacrum, so the very back of your bony pelvis. Not under your lumbar, low back, but down lower under your hips. I really recommend people do this for 3 to 5 minutes, especially in the afternoon or early evening when their symptoms of prolapse or pelvic floor issues tend to feel worse. People tend to feel worse as the day goes on, and so this is a great way to rejuvenate and restore your pelvic floor toward the end of the day when you're starting to feel that dragging, heavy sensation. And it just relieves pressure on your pelvic floor muscles. It gently repositions your pelvic organs, and it's great for circulation. So give this a try for 3 to 5 minutes every day around 3 to 5 p.m. Now, again, if you want even more, then check out my Lift program. I have a way for you to access a free trial in the video description and the pinned comment. I hope you love it. Thousands of women have been through this program with excellent results, and I want you to be the next one. There is hope and there is help. I will see you next time. Bye.